The Syrian legacy of historic cities, archaeological sites, and museum collections constitutes a unique cultural heritage for Syria and for the entire world, with a high value from a historical and scientific point of view. 6 cultural sites inscribed on the World Heritage List: the ancient cities of Aleppo, Damascus, and Busra, the Crac du Chevalier and Qal'at Salah ad-Din, the site of Palmyra, and the ancient villages of northern Syria have now been placed on the list of World Heritage in danger. Within its borders lie another 13 sites, which are listed in the country's World Heritage tentative list for future nomination as World Heritage Sites. This heritage is a key element of Syrian identity and unity, as well as for the social cohesion of the country and an important asset for economic development. The tragic events occurring in the country have resulted in significant damage to Syrian cultural heritage. The alarming reports regarding illegal excavations undertaken at archaeological sites such as Mari and Dura Europos show the gravity of the problem and the need for a joint emergency action. There are 10,000 archaeological sites in Syria, spread everywhere in the country. Today, we know that violence is spreading in many regions in Syria, like Deir ez-Zor, Idlib, Raqqa, Aleppo, Dara, which are all rich of archaeological sites and are now living a very difficult situation. The challenge is how to stop the danger. Of course, it is impossible to stop the danger completely, but so far, we could relatively avoid that many archaeological sites were looted thanks to the local people. In response to this situation, UNESCO, as the only UN agency with a mandate regarding the protection of cultural heritage, launched a comprehensive strategy in response to the current Syrian crisis. The UNESCO Amman office and the UNESCO Cultural Heritage Protection Treaty section organized a 4-day regional training in Amman between the 10th and 13th of February 2013, aimed to assess the situation of the Syrian cultural heritage, as well as the risk of looting and illicit trafficking in cultural property within the country.
It is our moral responsibilities as international organization, but also as international community, to look at the situation of Syrian cultural heritage and help our colleagues in Syria to fight the illicit trafficking. And this is the reason why we are here today, to help to devise measures that this cultural heritage that eventually are in danger to be destroyed or to be looted.
The training was supported by the Swiss Federal Office for Culture and attended by representatives of the International Police Corps, customs and heritage departments from Syria and neighboring countries, namely Jordan, Lebanon and Turkey, together with other international organizations. The training promoted priority cooperation in the region, as well as in the rest of the world.
Such a conference is very important because it brings together all the protagonists from different fields in order to protect Syrian cultural heritage. Such a network is effective and has an impact on the situation that is going on.
Appeals and reports presented by the participants added a great contribution in evaluating the threats to Syrian cultural heritage, especially regarding the issue of illicit trafficking of cultural property. In the case of archaeological sites, when there is no guardian for whatever reasons, the looters are encouraged, and the illegally excavated objects can be taken out of the country without possibility of being identified.
Ils ne peuvent pas être identifiés par définition.
The action plan in safeguarding the Syrian cultural heritage responds to the present situation and paves the way forward for a recovery scenario by actions aimed at improving regional and international cooperation. It demands the effort of all stakeholders, including art dealers and auction houses, Interpol, and the World Customs Organizations, to ensure the protection of the outstanding cultural legacy that Syria hosts on its soil.
Really, three ways in which we can do that. The first is through the transparency of the auction process itself. The fact that these things are advertised globally means that there's no place for them to hide. Secondly, through robust due diligence processes, which we have in place. And thirdly, through careful cooperation with the organisations who are involved in that fight, and in doing so, educating ourselves.
Further, raising the awareness of both the international and local communities that damage to the heritage of the country is damage to the soul of its people and its identity is an important step in combating this sort of phenomenon.
When the community feels that the cultural the monuments and the objects are part of their identity, then they relate to it in a different way, and they really become the guardians of this property and of the territory in general, and be the ones to defend their own heritage, and in so doing, really transmitting it to the future generations.
We want to create a net of professionals who can act in crisis time, knowing exactly how to deal with negotiation need, with speaking with different opponents, in order to make them understand the importance of the heritage for the future.
Mutual support and cooperation is the only way to protect the Syrian heritage. We need your help and support to do this. So let us come together to ensure we can pass this legacy on to our children and to their children after them.